who do not care about the welfare of the people.
It's not the question of a brand new constitution. It is attitudinal change of the people.
There are two sides to every story.
No, there are more than two sides.
Is it the new PDP or the old PDP?
No.
If you look at what happened,
you can't.
That your PDP went to court and they challenged on Unilola.
A community without a common ground will eventually become a battleground.
This is Pastor Chibo phoning from Obu local government, Enugu State.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Political voices are in my CNN here. I love it, and I love it very much. My name is Lily from Kogi State. Political voices always keeping me busy, always making me happy as I'm on strike as a student.
Political voices. One story, many angles.
Good morning and welcome to Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Political Voices is a session of comments, interviews and analyses of trending political stories as they affect and shape the world around you. Today is Thursday. It is the 10th day of September 2020. And this morning our focus is on, we'll be analyzing the quality of contracts and infrastructure in the southeast. We'll find out what's going on. And before we get into all that, there are matters arising from the political space. Nigeria's public debt hit a total of 31.01 trillion naira at the end of June. That's according to the Debt Management Office. This means that in the past 5 years under President Muhammadu Buhari, the country's debt rose by 18.89 trillion naira. As of the end of June 2015, 1 month after the present regime came into power, the country's debt profile stood at 12.12 trillion naira. This means that within a period of 5 years, the nation's debt profile rose by 18.89 trillion naira. It also means that the country's debt profile has risen by 155.86% within the past 5 years. Okay then. Moving ahead, there are other issues. Looking at the issue where we have other developments in Nigeria, that's talking about the North Central. The North Central have pulled away from the Arawa Consultative Forum. It is something worrying coming from the North, bringing fears that security situation there is simply worsening. It's something that we'll be taking a good look at, maybe eventually have a topic out of it. The Arawa Consultative Forum now has you have people from the middle belt, you should say, or North Central, as we usually say, pulling away from the Arawa Consultative Forum to form their own group, which is definitely going to... I should take the story properly. The ACF currently has... you have the story. Thus, prominent leaders from the North Central geopolitical zone have announced their exit from the Arawa Consultative Forum, citing the worsening insecurity in northern Nigeria. The leaders announced the formation of the North Central People's Forum as a platform to fight insecurity and marginalization. Addressing journalists in Abuja on Wednesday, the group said in spite of the abundant mineral and human resources in the zone, the North Central was bedeviled by vices like kidnapping, banditry, and other forms of criminality. All right, the ACF currently has as its chairman the immediate past Minister of Agriculture, Chief Audu Ogbe, who is from the North Central Zone. The new North Central group is being led by a former Minister of State for Health, Gabriel Aduku, who is the interim chairman, and a former Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Senator Jerry Oseni, a former Deputy Senate President, Ibrahim Mantu, a former military administrator of Kwara State, Colonel David Bamigboye, retired, and a former Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Chief Olushola Akomode, were also listed as members. We'll be keeping tabs on those stories. Remember, we are live on 3 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. On YouTube, it's Dream TV, and remember to subscribe and turn on notification. On Facebook, it's 925 Dream FM. Remember to like our page and still turn on notification to know when we're going live. And on Twitter, remember still to follow us on Twitter and turn on notification to know when we're going live. Stay right here. This is Political Voices on 92.5, Enugu's Dream FM. This morning our focus is on analyzing the quality of contracts and infrastructure in the Southeast Zone. And the process of contracts awards and repetition of contractors and quality of infrastructural projects in the Southeast Zone leaves much to be desired. From bridges and flyovers with cracks, collapsed or abandoned projects or buildings, to brand new roads that are either washed away by the rain or blown away by the wind, which has now become known as the road where wind blow comot for road. We've been seeing very funny pictures and videos of projects in the Southeast that does not inspire confidence. So this morning, we are going to ask the very tough questions. Why are we seeing these things in the Southeast? Since there is the claim that this is where people who are most qualified to do a lot of jobs, who have engineers, who have architects, who have people who are qualified in various aspects of life. So joining us this morning to do justice to this discussion is Honorable Mwabe Zugu. He is the constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and former lawmaker in the Enugu State House of Assembly, where he represented Nkano West. Good morning to you, sir. All right, I will start by asking you, how did we get here, despite examples of solid structured projects inherited from our forebears? When you look at some of the structures inherited from the time of Okpara and Zik, why are we seeing something substandard? Aren't we supposed to be moving forward and growing in terms of the knowledge and experience and expertise? Why does it look like we're taking one step forward and 2 steps back?
I want to begin by sharing with you a video I watched yesterday afternoon. I saw a video clip where some children were doing racing. So there was a commentator by the side. A child had a stick and was running very fast. It was a race. And the commentator by the side was saying, Yaradua, Yaradua, go on, move on. He ran to the place where he was supposed to stop. He handed over the baton to another person. The person was identified as Goodluck Jonathan. He was running very fast. The commentator was saying, Goodluck Jonathan, move on. He got to his own terminal end.
You know, that is the reason why I have to stop you from this analogy. Because on radio, every second counts.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's not going to be a happy ending. Your story isn't going to give us a happy ending. I'm not preempting you.
No
but I would like you to just talk to us about what's wrong.
I will stop there. Now, the point, of course, you know that when any person is awarded any contract, whether the contract is private or public, if I give somebody a contract to build a house for me or contract to fetch water for me, it is a contract. The contract could be written, it could also be oral. Now, when state governments, who usually tar roads in any part of Nigeria, when they award contracts, the contract has terms and the specifications. Every single bit of that contract is written down. The specifications are clearly mapped out, clearly spelled out. And the contractor is assumed to be capable of executing that contract. And of course, you have not executed a contract unless you execute it to the letter. You're also aware that if a contract is breached, that the breach of contract attracts damages against the person that breached and in favor of the person that awarded the contract. Now, the point is that when the contract for building of roads are awarded, those specifications are also clearly spelled out. The thickness of the road, the thickness of the asphalt, the thickness of everything else, including the soil test. You do a whole lot of things to get these things done. But you see, what you discover in most parts of the Southeast and in several parts of this country, but especially, I think it is worse in the Southeast, is that contracts that are done are shoddily done. You just begin to imagine what has taken place. The truth of the matter is that when, for instance, the case you just cited, yesterday, some very time in the very recent past, a road was built in Abia State. And this road, the asphalt itself, was blown away from where it was cast by the wind, not even by the rain. So you can imagine. Blown, and if you look at it, you'll be wondering if this is matte. The thing, that asphalt just appeared like matte on the road. And you will now ask yourself, what kind of job could have been done? Now, it is also very important, if you now begin to ruminate, you begin to ask yourself, what is it that could have taken place? And why is it that the government that awarded that contract cannot ask questions to the contractor? Because it's very clear that the contract was not executed. Does it mean that that contract was executed according to the terms? Has the contractor not been paid? If he has been, and you see, this thing that took place in less than 6 months after that asphalt has been laid. Was the contractor not paid? The truth is that it is not the specification of that contract that the contractor executed, but it is possible, and most likely, that because of the kickbacks that took place, it's not possible now for anybody to question the contractor. Otherwise, tell me what on earth would make it impossible for the contractor to be brought to book. The state government should question him, the state government should go to court, and it should be made to refund the money that he was paid for that contract, and he should also pay damages to the government. Otherwise, if we continue like this, it's just like taking one step forward and 10 steps backward. That is why this country is in a very, very deep trouble. That is the essence of why the people must open their mouth. Why that opening of mouth may never be possible.
All right, then. Thank you so much. We're also joined on the program this morning by Aniche Ndodim Roland. He's a former banker and a seasoned financial analyst. It boils down to money. A lot of people will argue when we talk about the quality of contracts and infrastructure in the Southeast. Let's talk money a bit. So, what is the money side of this problem? Mr. Ndodim Roland, talk to us how the transfer of money affects the quality of these contracts and infrastructure we see around us.
Okay, I think First of all, there are enough laws regulating contracting in this country. Bureau of Procurement Act and all kinds. But the major problem is the character of both the organization awarding the contract or the state awarding the contract and the contractor, that's the person executing it. Normally, if the contractor is aware that whoever is issuing the contract is up on his game, is sincere and transparent, then what it means is that the procurement process, the bill of quantities, the bidding will go smoothly to be transparent, and it will not be subject to whims and caprice of any CEO. Of any CEO. When I mean CEO, maybe the state government or the local the governor or the local government chairman or maybe the minister. It will be transparent. And where there's more transparency, you find reputable firms gravitating towards those states to execute contracts. But whereby there's a breach along the line, more especially if the actual bidding of the job is manipulated and not the actual sum. What I mean is, let's say for the road contract now, there's a standard sum for constructing a kilometer of road. And all the major construction industries are fully aware of the price, of the cost. So when you find a state government reducing the amount or manipulating it such a way that it's practically not feasible to execute a job of that sum, you will find contractors of questionable characters gravitating towards those states to execute those jobs because they know the state does not have integrity. They know they too do not have any integrity at stake. They don't have anything to protect. So you find all forms of charlatans gravitating to those states to execute jobs. For the funds are available. It all depends on prudence of the state government. And it's sad because at the end of the day, you find the funds are always available. So it's not a question if the funds were made available or not. Now, the issue now is even when the funds are available, what does the CEO do with the funds? Does he take kickbacks? Does he try to manipulate the process for returns? So these are the issues. So where you have character deficits on both sides, you find poor jobs being done across board. It's not just state alone. It's also on the federal level. We have a clear case of the PNID where you know ab initio the job was meant to fail from the beginning. So it's not the issue about the funds.
So the matter is still swelling. Honorable Mwabezugu, if you know that you would one day use a particular road and you are in a position to award a contract for that road to be constructed, why do you get into anything that will cause that road not to be done properly? Is this something, is there a particular thing we need to do to snap out of this? What is fueling this pattern?
There is, of course, something we can do to stop it. My last statement when I spoke last was that it was Karl Marx that said that every society gets the government it has earned. Now, the kind of government we have in Nigeria and the kind of government we have, especially in Igbo land, is the kind of government we have as well earned. That's the government we desire. Now, it is true that because of the kind of elections that are done in Nigeria, most times the governments that appear are not the governments that ordinarily the people would have wished to rule over them. But you still cannot fold your arms. You cannot sit idly by. You still have to do something. Now, when you talk about democracy, it is government of the people. But the other two qualifications, the other two limbs are very important. By the people and for the people. If you look at government by the people, who are those people? it is true that in our representative democracy, we have elected a few persons to represent the many. But democracy, the definition, that elementary definition of democracy, still insists that the people are the ultimate rulers. How do you rule? How does the people rule? The people rule by three ways. One, you watch the executive. There are things you could do to ensure that the executive is placed in line when the moment they begin to derail. You can impeach a governor. You can impeach the president. You can impeach a local government chairman. That's the remedy you have. Now, who impeaches those people? The people that represent you in the legislature. If they refuse to do that when they ought to do that, you recall them. The Constitution gives you the authority to recall your elected representatives. Now, if the elected representatives themselves are not doing the thing, you now see that you can recall them if they refuse to impeach the man at the executive. These are the two ways by which you can monitor. The third way is even the most important. That is what the people could do directly. The people directly could say, no, enough is enough. Assuming the process of recall is taking too much time because it is very Herculean and alchemical. Assuming like it ought to be is taking too much time, or the result is not what the people desire, they can come and say, no, we can't continue. It must stop today. And that's the surest, the best, the easiest, and honestly acceptable everywhere in the world. But when the people keep folding their arms, and instead of saying no, they continue to clap. You see, the world is so simple. It's been everything in the world is so simple. If a man is giving you physics, that is poo-poo. If somebody is putting it into your mouth to eat, and you are laughing, you are smiling, the person, as far as that person is concerned, he's doing you good because you accept it, you like it, you want to continue to eat the physics. You want to continue to eat the poo-poo. You don't expect that person to stop. The person even thinks that it's now a good thing to eat poo-poo. Now, but if somebody is doing that, before he even brings it close to your mouth, you frown, you back, that man will know that you don't desire this and you will not take it. All but right. You see, in Nigeria and in Igbo land, when somebody in government is doing a wrong thing, we will continue to clap for him. Of course, it means that the person is doing the right thing. Remember what Niccolo Machiavelli said, that if somebody is telling lies and continue to tell lies every day, and that lies, because of the continuous repetition of the lies, even the person himself telling the lies will begin to believe that this is actually truth. It's not a lie. Even the person telling the lie. So it's impossible for God to bring angels to be our governors, to be our local government chairman, to be the president of this country. God cannot do that. And it is not possible also for Americans to come here and take over those positions. They must be done by Nigerians, and it is also Nigeria that will bring this same country to be what God had purposed it to be. Okay. A great country, the richest country in the world.
All right, then. Thank you so much. Let's find out from you, Anichan Dudim Roland. There is also the problem of abandoned projects. In fact, from 1999 till date, if you move to all the states in the southeast, you will have countless abandoned projects. Is it possible now? How can we find out the cost of these abandoned projects? How costly are they?
It's huge and humongous, because if you check from 1999, let's say from 1999, let's take benchmark. Our exchange rate was 80 naira to a dollar, compared to what it is now, which is 5 times it, which is it's almost 500 now, right? So it's over 5 times it. So what it will cost right now to go back to site to complete them will outweigh the initial costs as at 1999. So it's a big problem. And sometimes I try to wrap my head right around the actions of our CEOs in terms of the states and even the presidency. Why will you undertake a project that will not be completed after your tenure? So these are the issues. Why will you execute a project that is even going to pass through your road, your area, that you know is bound to fail? So it beats my imagination. While a governor will execute a road project that will not last more than 6 months, that he's even going to apply. So it all boils down to the character of the politicians we have these days. So it's only an appeal, because we have no place we can call our own. This is our nation. We all have to build it. There's no amount of restructuring. There's no amount of dialogue or conference we are going to embark upon to make this country great. It all boils down to executors of our policies, executors of our laws. We all have to appeal. It's now an appeal now, because it cuts across all political parties, all the regions, the nation in general. We have to sit down and say, look, this nation will cave under our heads if we don't make a U-turn towards infrastructures in this country.
All right. This is Political Voices on 92.5, Enugu's Dream FM. This morning we're taking a look at the quality of infrastructure and contracts in the southeast. Joining me this morning is Honorable Mwabe Zugu and Aniche Ndodem Roland. But we'll take calls from our listener and, of course, read comments from the social media handles where we're streaming live: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. On YouTube, it's Dream TV Enugu. Please do well to join us on that stream. And of course, on Facebook, it's 925 Dream FM. Also join us there. Like the page and turn on notification and the detail for our Twitter handle, which is Dream 925 FM. Follow us on Twitter and turn on notification for live videos. Let's find out who really onto us now on Facebook and find out what we can do. All right, let's start by reading some of the messages here. Divan Breezy says, we are complaining about the North marginalizing the South. Go to my village of Okago. A borehole that cost 10 million naira was awarded to CSDP, and within a month it stopped working. The worst is that the person in charge of CSDP is from your community, and we need God's intervention in this country. He says, I will show you pictures to prove this. This is serious. All right. Someone will say these are stark allegations. And Onweze Emmanuel says, we have been bedeviled by corrupt leaders to corrupt contractors who have no conscience, no remorse, as they are pure capitalists who don't care about the masses, who don't care about the effect on their own people. We are bedeviled in the worst way any country of our pedigree is. Nat Nwoko says, we really have not followed due process in awarding contracts. Best practices are lacking. Political cronies are patronized instead of core professionals. Comrade Jeremiah Okore from the UAE is saying, apart from awarding the contract to themselves and their cronies with overbloated figures, they will still end up delivering poor projects that do not outlive their tenure. It is unfortunate. You can call us now on hello.
Yeah, Alex. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Alex?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, please.
All right. Good morning to the guests in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
This is I'm calling from Soka. Hello.
Go ahead and make your contribution, please.
All right, sir. You know, I've listened attentively to the guests in the studio. Leadership, as we all know, is not rocket science. So you can know what a man can do by assessing his abilities. So the leaders we have in this country, we are focusing on the southeast governance. So the governors here, look at the government of the state. Look at the quality of projects being done in a bunch state since the inception of this present government. We all can attest to the fact that the man has somehow a kind of been ahead of others infrastructure-wise. So what I'm trying to say is this. It has to do with the governors, the leaders, the people in charge. When a state governor takes over the helm of affairs in a state, what he has to do is to look for best hands if he really wants to deliver. Look for best hands that can help him, deliver on his mandate. So what I'm trying to say is, what the situation in this south is very deplorable. I can use any state, my own state, as an instance. Look at the quality of projects being done in Enugu State. Even the commissioner, commission was here on this same platform. He couldn't defend anything. He couldn't say anything about the projects in this state. So what I'm trying to say is this. It is high time we the masses, we engage these governors, we engage
All right.
the commissioners, we engage the special advisors.
All right. I will appreciate it. I will appreciate it if we keep our comments short so we can accommodate other people. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you.
Yes, nice man, nice man,
Hello.
So what I want to say, when I look at things, I wonder how a governor or president will award a contract to a contractor. End of the day, they won't fill that contract. And people know, they won't ask him why do you not fill the contract. I don't think they awarded that contract so they will fill that contract. Within this area of Ninth Man, Israel and the Uji, there's a lot of abundant projects. Look at the road from Egede to our home. It's abundant over 2 years now. Look at the other projects from St. Peter Abo to Abo. It's abundant. Look at the road from Abu Mona to Ogben. 3 years now, or more than 3 years. It's abundant. Look at the one from Agobowa to Babowa. Total abandoned. Where are those money? They're supposed to go these people to good. If they are really want to come down and give them the money. They're not talking of any elsewhere, which will be held over to 3 years. The road was awarded to whoever. Up to now, the road is yet to be done.
Ninth Mile Town Cry. Ninth Mile Town Cry. Ninth Mile Town Cry. You have made your point. You have made your point. And we heard you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name and location?
I cannot hear you, but let me go on.
Yes, please.
Good morning to you, I guess. My name is Colin myself, and I'm calling you from Babenimbo. Babenimbo is also one in the local government. I must appreciate you, I guess. This program, this particular topic we are treating could have been better if maybe we were dragging the Commissioner of Works in this studio.
Well, so, we're having a series, so...
most of the projects we are seeing in Southeast here currently, most of the projects are for me. I have nothing to write home about. You talk about the roads. Somebody mentioned Ebonyi State. I think Ebonyi State is where, currently, is where most of leaders today should go and look at what is going on there. Some will tell you that the man is, the engineering construction company that is overseeing the construction of road in Ebonyi. But even though if you have any of that, something like that, carrying it in a particular state, it will be okay. So the quality of work there, I think it surpasses all the good qualities of work in most of the Southeast areas. But we talk about the federal road, the Enugu on the expressway that being constructed currently. I think some of the roads they have constructed, some of the roads is very, very okay. But it's not that we were having maybe a slow work slow men at work there. But in terms of the road we are constructing in Enugu, my brother, so most of the roads in Enugu, at times I begin to say, if we are putting maybe having gutters along our road, is it a sin for us to construct road and have gutters along our road? So it's to make the last farm of that particular road to last. But here we're not doing it. Just constructing how many 10 kilometers of road and other without putting those gutters. It will just wash out everything. So
all right then, Marcel.
All this road because for me,
Marcel, thank you. We'll have to let you go. You've been talking for over 2 minutes. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Alex. Good morning.
What's your
Good morning,
name and
Santo.
location?
My name is Samuel, calling from Oka.
Samuel, you're welcome.
I had the discussion we are having this morning. You know, there is the former governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chris Ngige. There is something the way he used to do his own thing.
Can you do us a favor and move away from your radio, please? I can hear you. I can hear myself in your house.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yes. When Chris Ngige was governor of Anambra State, when he awarded contracts, he used to inspect that contract by himself. When he give a contractor a work, he will come down from his office and go to that site, check the quality of the work they are doing. But today, the way our governors and president handle the job they give to contractors, they don't monitor, they don't care. Once they give money, one contract, they will just back off. The way the contractor handle the work, the job, they don't want to know. So the way they are handling our rules today, we don't know what to say.
All right then. Call us on 0811-2925-925. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr.
What's your name and location? Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, this is Mr. Justin. I'm calling you from Kogi State.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Go ahead and make your contribution.
Yes. Please, like this program that is going on now is also going on almost in other stations. People, a lot of Nigerians call in and continue to complain what the leader has been doing and all that. But we left our responsibility. I want one single citizen of this country to call this station now and tell us that he has a solution to this problem. And he's ready to come out of the street to protest against what is happening here. Even if he dies and loses his life, he's comfortable with it. Nobody wants to do that. You keep on complaining. I challenge anybody, let anybody call and say that. Here in Kogi State, I am ready to even die now for the country. So let somebody else call and say he's ready, so that we know what to do. Stop all this complaining. It's getting too much. It's not any solution at all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the young man from Ovokago actually sent a picture. I've seen this picture on social media before. Ovokago Community Water Borehole. And he says it's not working. I don't know. I'm sure that those who know this about Ovokago should check it out. We're getting too many worrying feedback. It's really, really worrying. Let's take some more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name and location?
This is Barrister Abo calling from Enugu.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I must have to thank your guest there. I think he's also a victim of this insisting for good governance. We know his antecedents. It's very unfortunate. These people are wicked. I would describe it as a wicked. Because you see the personal houses they give to company to build for them. They will build it to the best standard. But the one they will do to the public, they will do it anyhow. Just like as you said, it appears that our leaders, their psychology, they have to go on psychology test. How can somebody give shady contract on the road, which after he has finished from office, he will still come back and begin to apply it? Something is wrong with our people. Very clear. Something is wrong somewhere. I think we have not gotten it right yet.
All right, then. Thank you. Let's take some messages on Facebook. Omagan Namani says that most of the contracts and infrastructural facilities in the southeast are nothing to write home about. The contracts should be awarded to capable hands, carefully supervised, and maintenance culture embraced to enable those projects stand the test of time. Wobi Uche says, is it their 1 billion naira one per 1 per kilometer road contract we experience here? It's funny. We have bad eggs as our leaders here. And, okay, Adedeji Ayobami Omonla says, I like the topic for today. I see you all, the Southeast governors, you can ask more of the questions. I don't know how you will award a contract with a lot of money, and at the end of the day, the contract is not good, or just stop. It's totally rubbish. Okay, then. Wisdom Weza says, that the guest in the studio say wisdom is what does it say now? It says the road from Leja and Osoka. I tell you that I don't know whether Leja is part of Enugu State. Look at our road, Alex, from Leja to Aku, is not passable. Now, that is all I can say now, okay? All right, I think I will come back and talk. Honorable Wabezugu, the problem is bigger than we think. And it does appear that this might become a series because it is turning into an Ebraiche. You know what I mean by that? Yes. So how do we solve this problem? It is a problem, a hydra-headed problem. It is a hydra-headed monster. But there is always a way. What do we do and how can we get out of this?
I agree that the problem is multifarious and multifaceted. I agree that the problem is gargantuan. But I also agree that there is a solution. You see, there is nothing in the world that has no solution except death. Everything that man destroyed, man can also do something at least to ameliorate the consequences of that destruction. You see, this thing is very simple. All that is important is the will of the people. Do the people have the will? You see, one of the callers used the word wickedness. I agree totally and completely with that caller. If a man swore to an oath of office to work for the people, and he turns out working against the people, that man has not only become a prisoner unto his office, but most importantly, he has become an exceedingly wicked person. Now, but you see, the people cannot continue to fold their arms because it is the people that bear the brunt. When a man is probably a local government chairman, he gets an average of 180 million naira monthly, and after paying salaries, he pockets the rest, and the people continue to look at him. For heaven's sake, that local government does not belong to that person. It belongs to the people of that local government. Whatever money accrues to that local government does not accrue to the local government chairman. It accrues to the people. And the people ought to ask questions. Where is our money? What did you do with our money? Show us what you have done on the ground. If there is nothing you have done, produce our money. These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. Let me tell you, the position today is that a lot of chairmen, local government chairmen, a lot of governors, state governors, pocket the money that belongs to the people, and at the end of their tenure, EFCC will swoop on them, collect this money, and send it back to federal purse. Who are the people losing? It is the people of the state, of that state, that owns the money that have lost. Because the people refused to talk. The people refused to ask questions. Now, you see, the governor didn't eat the money. The people didn't eat the money. It goes back to the government and is now shared to every other state. Who is losing? You see, we must begin to become realistic. Both the governors, the local government chairman, the president must become realistic, knowing fully well that those who abuse power today certainly ought to realize that in less than no time, they will be called to question. It's not possible, at least Nigeria has not become a sit-tight dictatorship. Although we know we're enjoying civil dictatorship. We enjoy it. But we haven't got sit-tight dictatorship. You must leave at the end of 8 years. After you have lost at the end of 8 years, another person comes in, and that person begins to question what you did. Even if the person refuses to question it, there are law enforcement agents who, even if they don't mean well, they will question it because they also want a part of the booty in their own pockets. Because it's not only one mouth that ought to enjoy the booty of stolen wealth. But the moment we begin to get realistic, it will be better for us. It's not right for us to continue to march back instead of marching forward.
All right then. Anicha Ndudum Roland, you heard the people calling in. In fact, some of the people who called in mentioned projects that were abandoned in their localities. It is worrying, and some of these projects they are mentioning have been listed as completed in some places. So talk to us about how did we get here, and what do you think should be done? Because there must be a way. If we give people opportunity to keep calling, you keep hearing more of these complaints. So there has to be a way this can be tackled from bottom to top or top to bottom.
Okay. Let me briefly just explain what's happening contracting process in states. Now, if a state advertises a road contract, maybe a 5-kilometer road contract, averagely, it used to be 100 million. Maybe because of inflation and all that, it's around 200 million naira for 5 kilometers, which is a billion naira. And the duration, sometimes reputable construction firms, within a month, a kilometer of road is done. So let's say for 5 kilometers of road, you're going to use 5 months. What the state normally do is the IGR, which it has a regular flow. All the states across the southeast, Enugu is 1.8, Anambra is 1.6, 1.4, Imo.
What, 1.4 what?
Billion.
Okay.
Billion. So averagely you can earmark 200 billion naira, which is steady, which is average. The state can lock that fund up for the next 5 months. They now request a performance bond from any reputable firm that you have the capacity to execute this job. Then the state will also guarantee the contractor an irrevocable standing payment order. What it means is that on a monthly basis, we'll issue you 200 million naira for this job. I tell you, if any state government goes with a bank guarantee to any reputable firm, construction firm that knows these onions, with consistency in your payment, they will relocate to your state. It is working perfectly in Akwa Ibom State that they tied their project to I think it's about 10 billion naira every month. So that is why Julius Berger is heavy into construction in Akwa Ibom, and you will see the job done. So when a state government does 5-kilometer roads every 5 months, by the time he does 8 years, we'll be talking about in a year you have 12 kilometer. In 4 years you have 48 kilometer. In 8 years you have 98 kilometer of road. The whole nation, the state will clearly see what the state government has done. So, like I said, every construction firm that knows these onions knows this process. And when they see a government act in that line, they will go into that state to execute very good jobs. But when the bidding process, the whole contracting process is flawed, there you will see charlatans gravitate to such states. Now, for abandoned projects, it's all a political way, because sometimes most politicians do not want to do jobs they will not be given credit for. So you find out that they tend to abandon projects by their predecessors, which is sad. It's only an appeal that this is an investment from the state. The state benefits it. It is also to the praise and the glory of the state government that completed it. So it's unfortunate that we play politics more than governance in this country. So it's only an appeal to our executives, to the directors and the ministries. Let us advise, bring our leaders to book that, look, execute this job. It's an appeal. Let us go back to our contracting process again and tie up some of our funds that are very idle, more especially our IGR. We're announcing IGR, but what do we do with it? That's the issue. Yes, we have issues about the federal allocated revenues that does not come regularly.
All right.
But the IGR is a steady income that's base of our is a steady income of which we can tower our project to.
All right, but so the issue isn't that the money is not there to do the projects, because a lot of the projects are being done, but they're not being done well, or they are not being completed. Let's have your final thoughts on the program. Honorable Nwabezugu, talk to us about how we can sign off on this issue, because our people will say, okay, can I do Kwantinjo?
Last night I was watching Dr. Carlo Idika Carlo. The one-time Minister of Finance of Nigeria and also Minister of Budget Planning. Now, the man said that from outside, if you watch what is going on in Nigeria, you will be expecting that Nigeria should be on the ground, that Nigerians should be begging and begging from nobody, because there won't be anybody to beg from, because of the kind of financial profligacy that go on in Nigeria. But when you come inside Nigeria, you'll still be surprised that everything is normal. Things are still working normally. That is because Nigeria is very rich. This country is very rich. And God, in his infinite mercies, sat down and took a decision and said, Nigeria is being created to be the richest country on planet Earth.
All right.
Now, the money is there in a nutshell. We have far more than sufficient money to execute projects that will make Nigeria look like an El Dorado. You remember that Dubai was a desert compared to Nigeria the other day in 1970. Right. And look at where it is today, with nothing, no mineral resource, when we have everything here. So we have sufficient money to execute projects that will make Nigeria to compete with any other part of the world.
All right.
But we have refused to do so.
Thank you so much.
We've instead decided to pocket the money and keep pocketing
All right. Honorable Nwabezugu, constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and former lawmaker in Enugu State House of Assembly, where he represented in Kano West. And thank you, Aniche Ndodim Roland, ex-banker and a seasoned financial analyst. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on Political Voices. Special thanks to my production assistant, Lotana Okereke, and my producer, Okeodogu. My name is Alex Obodo. We'll be here tomorrow sometime. Up next is the Dream FM News at 10. Good morning.
You can ride with one of the best transport companies in Nigeria today, PK Ride.